On that day I was diagnosed with advanced bone cancer. Serena's childhood sweetheart came to my house, laughed at my condition and set fire to the house. This time I didn't call Serena, but covered my mouth and nose with a wet towel and waited quietly for rescue. This was completely different from my reaction in my previous life. In my previous life, I panicked and called Serena as soon as the fire started, begging her to take me to the hospital. I survived by chance, but her childhood sweetheart Roman died in the fire. Serena didn't blame me, but took care of me in the hospital. But on the day I was discharged from the hospital, she dragged me directly to Roman's grave. Before I could react, she took out a dagger that she had sharpened in advance and stabbed it into my chest. Blood splashed on her face, and her eyes were full of hatred. If you hadn't set the fire, Roman wouldn't have died. Do you think you can fool me by pretending to be a victim? Dream on, James. You will pay for his life. After stabbing me, she poured kerosene on me and set me on fire. I watched the flames consume me until I was reduced to ash. Then, I opened my eyes and found myself back in the fire. The smoke made me cough violently, and the pain woke me up from my memories. This time I didn't hesitate, picked up my phone and called for help, but I didn't call Serena, but called 911 directly. In the distance, I saw Serena leading the medical staff to rescue Roman. I didn't call for help until I saw him being carried out. The rescuers looked at me coldly, thinking I was acting. They even scolded me for wasting their time. The wedding photo on the wall fell and broke several of my ribs. Blood gushed out of my mouth, but no one paid attention. I gritted my teeth and climbed out of the burning house, but all the first aid equipment was used on Roman. Serena didn't even look at me, but sneered and said, "You asked for it." The pain made me speechless, and my life was slipping away. When the fire broke out in my previous life, Roman and I called Serena at the same time. Because of my condition, she chose to save me first. When we returned to the fire scene, the fire was too big and no one could get in. Roman was engulfed in flames and turned to ashes. Serena said it was not my fault and was still taking care of me in the hospital. But on the day I was discharged from the hospital, she dragged me to Roman's grave and stabbed me in the chest with a dagger. Blood splattered on her face, and she gritted her teeth and said, "James, do you know what it feels like to watch your loved one burn to death? I want you to suffer 10 times as much as I do." She did it. I died in that fire as she wished. But after this rebirth, I just wanted to escape. However, Serena refused to let me go even in this life. She refused to give me any first aid, not even a cooling pad. She was really cruel. I spit out another mouthful of blood and desperately made a final cry for help. "Save me, please." A rescuer finally looked at me with contempt in his eyes. He sneered, "Damn it, James. Stop acting. Everyone knows you hate Roman. Who would have thought a coward like you would set a fire? Serena is saving real lives. No one is watching your performance. To be honest, we admire you. You are willing to do this for a woman. But unfortunately, Serena only has eyes for Roman. You'd better pray that he is okay. Otherwise she will divorce you without hesitation. I know Serena doesn't love me, but I didn't expect that even her teammates despise me so much. The severe pain of the burns made me unable to make a sound. My skin peeled off in the heat, and my body trembled in pain. The rescuers were busy putting out the fire, and no one looked at me. In a trance, I heard a teammate exclaim, "Why is there so much blood? Damn, the situation is not good. Is James really in trouble? What can happen to such a coward? He just wants Serena to come and save him. He must be pretending." But someone still reluctantly suggested, "Okay, ask Serena to come and take a look." When she came, there was no concern in her voice, only cold questioning. She wore gloves and slapped me hard twice. "James, wake up. Stop pretending. I'm coming." Her tone was sharp and full of impatience. "How can you be so stupid? You set a fire and burned yourself like this. Is it fun to see the consequences?" Even now, Serena still thinks I set the fire. I was jealous and acting. Although I wanted to explain, my throat was so smoked that I couldn't speak. The broken ribs made me feel miserable. I grabbed her sleeve desperately, hoping that she would understand that I needed help. But she hesitated for only a second and shook my hand away. "You acted well. If Roman hadn't told me that you hid after setting the fire, I might have believed it." After that, she turned and left without mercy. The next moment, I heard someone shouting, "Serena, blood. He's bleeding. Is he really hurt?" "Don't mind him," Serena said coldly. "Roman said James' blood was fake. He was just pretending to be pitiful. Let him act if he wants." The pain made me lose consciousness and everything fell into darkness. In my dream, I went back to the first time I met Serena. At a university lecture, Serena stood on the stage with a cold expression. Her professional ability was unmatched, and her aura made many men want to challenge her. I was no exception. As soon as I saw Serena, I was fascinated by her. I started asking around and wanted to know everything about her. I was just a trainee lecturer at the time, and she hardly looked at me. In order to get her attention, I doubled my efforts. When I finally became a full professor, I invited Serena to dinner as a thank you. That night, I noticed something different about the way she looked at me. I took the opportunity and wooed her with flowers, cakes, and expensive gifts. Eventually, I got what I wanted. She accepted my confession. I thought this was the beginning of a good life, but in fact, it was the beginning of my nightmare. After we were together, Serena became distant. Every date was interrupted by work or emergency rescue. I never doubted her excuses until our wedding day. That morning, an email from overseas broke it all. It was from Roman. He kept a detailed record of their 10-year relationship. Every moment they shared, every memory they created. The truth shattered me. Every time she canceled a date, every time she disappeared, she was with him. The worst part was that I didn't even have the courage to question her. I was afraid she would leave me. In the previous life, after Roman died, Serena was unusually calm. For a moment, I foolishly thought I had one. But I was so wrong. Even though I was terminally ill, I thought I was the happiest person in the world. Unfortunately, the sudden love clouded my judgment and made me reckless. I stopped thinking rationally. It wasn't until the day I was discharged from the hospital and died in her hands that I finally understood one thing. Serena never loved me. She wasn't fighting for me, she was taking revenge. Because in Serena's heart, from beginning to end, the only person she really loved was Roman. When I woke up, I was lying in a hospital ward. But Serena was not there. Instead, there was a strange man. Are you awake? I'm your neighbor downstairs. I went up to check the fire and saw you lying there alone, so I sent you to the hospital. His voice was full of concern. How do you feel? I tried to move my limbs, but my body was sluggish and weak. I looked down and found that my body was wrapped in bandages. My hand stopped. The man hesitated, his voice softer. I'm sorry. The doctor said you're badly burned, most of your skin. I smiled bitterly. It's not your fault. Even if you hadn't saved me, I wouldn't have lived long. But, thank you for getting me here. Even a stranger could see that I was on the verge of death. And Serena, my wife of 5 years, didn't even look at me. The neighbor sitting next to me was getting more and more agitated. I don't understand what happened to those rescuers. Why didn't they help you? He shook his head in disbelief. If I hadn't gone up, you would have died. What about your family? Does your wife care about you? If you give me her number, I can call you. You shouldn't be alone now. I've reported that rescue team. People like them are a disgrace to society. I exhaled weakly and whispered, my wife is dead to me. The neighbor was silent, his expression turning from anger to sympathy. He offered to take care of me until I was discharged, but I refused. I transferred the hospitalization and surgery fees to him and urged him to leave. But even if he was gone, the fire was more than a memory. It had become a scandal. Online, it quickly became a hot topic. The fire at the rescue team leader's house became a hot topic online. My neighbor posted a photo of me lying unconscious on the ground in the comments section. Netizens immediately exploded. People angrily questioned whether the rescue team was only responsible for putting out fires. If so, should they change their name to the fire department? They ignored a living person. Was that their job? I scrolled through the overwhelming criticism. However, I felt that this was too light a punishment for Serena. I opened my phone and prepared to send her a message asking for a divorce. But before I could send it, Roman sent a message. It was a photo. He and I were in the same hospital, just a few floors below. In the photo, Serena sat by his bed and carefully fed him porridge. She even blew on the porridge gently before she put the spoon to his mouth. Her eyes were full of warmth and tenderness. I had seen this photo countless times, but this time it didn't stir any waves in my heart. I closed the chat window silently and called Serena. It wasn't until the 5th time that she finally answered. Her voice was sharp and impatient. You still have the nerve to call me? She scolded me angrily. What do you want to do? Are you asking if Roman is dead? I'm sorry to disappoint you. He's still alive and well, thanks to me. James, I've known you for so many years, but I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Do you know what you did? You tried to kill someone. Are you crazy?